1989, Tiananmen Square. One of the world's major plazas, Tiananmen Square was created in 1651 and today covers some 100 acres in the center of Beijing. Since 1919, Tiananmen has also been the site for student demonstrations. On June 1989, the whole world watched as one of the great dramas of our time took place, starring Man and Machine. In April, rallies had begun for democratic reforms in the rigidly governed nation. Despite a declaration of martial law, students and workers continued to gather until more than 1 million people were in Tiananmen Square. Finally, on June 4th, the ruling powers had had enough, and tanks were dispatched to clear the square. The conflict spread to adjoining streets, and hundreds of civilians were killed. The next day, Tiananmen Square lay quiet as a row of tanks slowly wheeled across the square. Suddenly, a young man, armed with only what appeared to be his shopping bag, stepped in front of the tank. As the tank tried to go around him to the right, the man moved to his left. When the vehicle attempted to pass on the other side, the man simply stayed in front of the tank. Across China and the whole world, viewers watched with astonishment as the entire row of tanks was held in check by this one anonymous man. It was a stirring moment for humanity. After 1/2 hour, someone emerged from the crowd and drew the man away. The tanks then continued on their way. The crackdown on the demonstrators was followed by the government's steadfast refusal to implement any changes. You could say all was for naught, but the main point had been made. Courage carries its own distinction. Courage carries its own distinction. Tank Man is the nickname of the identified man who stood in front of the tanks. In all of these years after the incident, there is no reliable information about the identity or fate of Tank Man. The story of what happened to the tank crew is also unknown. At least one witness stated that Tank Man was not the only person who had opposed the tanks during the protests. But however the story ends, the world witnessed courage under extreme fire and threat. You see, the need for freedom of speech and freedom to demonstrate a wrong has never been so evident as it was with Tank Man. Like, subscribe, be a genius. Think for yourself. This is Amerilogic.